Good morning and welcome. Happy Saturday. This is your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well, give you something to ponder. And I was a little nonplussed when the card deck turned out to be the Lightseers deck, which, good morning, Abigail, welcome. You're the first one popping on today, which is a pocket deck, i.e. teeny. So little bitty print. And I'm like, oh boy, hopefully I can read it. But it didn't seem too bad today. So maybe I'm not even eating carrots, but maybe my eyesight is better today. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna grab a drink here. And the card came out right side up. Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you are here. Welcome. Let's take a breath in. And out. Let your shoulders drop. Just wiggle a little bit. Listen to some of the creaks and groans in your neck. In. Out. And I'm pondering an idea. It's kind of floating around in there. We'll see what the outcome is when the dust settles. You didn't know I had a dusty brain, did you? In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. Glad you're here. All the practical rebels starting to pop in. This is good. And this is an interesting card. It's an interesting card. It kind of seems opposed to some of the ones we've had recently, but I think there's an ebb and flow to all of this. Thank you for the sunshine. It'll probably be very sunny here today because I think the high is 10. Blink, blink. Good morning, Choniel. Glad you're here. Welcome. Yeah, I think with the wind chill right now, it's 6 below. So I've got my long underwear on. And I'm going out. I'm going out in this. I'm stalking the Wiley Church property. Good morning, Beth. Glad you are here. I actually had a friend tell me about 2 different churches who are considering developing parts of their property. And so I want to go eyeball them and see if I want to reach out to them and say, hey, would you like a partner in this? And what were you thinking of putting here? And here's what I would like to put here. And we'll see. Eventually, it will come together. Eventually. And I had a thought the other day that was actually a very comforting thought. That if I don't actually get this taken care of in this lifetime, maybe the next time around, it'll manifest. Who knows? Who knows? So, am I seeing a tattoo in your thumbnail, Ruth Ann? Is that what I'm seeing? It's so teeny tiny, it's hard to see. But if that's what it is, love to hear the story on that one. So, good morning, Nancy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. Good morning, Gwen. You've got 4 degrees and 4 inches of snow. There's symmetry, right? There's symmetry. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. Yeah, I think we got maybe an inch, which did not trigger the plow guy coming, which is fine with me because, yeah, I think it'll blow away because it's so darn cold. It's this powdery crystally stuff, and all we need is a stiff wind, and it'll be gone. So, yeah, like I said, I think our high today is 10. Yeah. It's a good thing I have a really good heater in my Subaru. Really good. So, Diane and I are going to make a road trip down to Oshkosh. We're going to go to the gigantic St. Vinny's. We're going to go to lunch at a place I used to go when I was in college. That was really good. And then we're going to check out the church property, and then we'll drive around and see what else grabs us. Below 0, yes. Blech. Yeah. But me, I'd rather below 0 than 90 and humid. I can live in below 0. 90 and humid, not so much. So again, Lightseers. Let's do the card, and then we'll see where we're at. All right? So, a little bit of tapping and a little bit of breath, just to get us settled and anchored. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we've got 7 practical rebels in the house and me. So, my favorite number 8. And actually, we have an 8 in today's card. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Oh, fabulous. Awesome, awesome. I have no tattoos. My daughter's covered. She's got a sleeve with a peacock, and she's got roses, and she's got a bumblebee to represent me because I buzz along. She's got a turtle to represent her dad because he's very slowly paced. And when he's mad, she calls him the snapping turtle. What else does she have? She kind of has lots of things for people. So we'll see. We'll see what she decides to do for her daughter, who we now know the name of. Yay! And it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, which is absolutely fine. So, yeah. Lightseers by Chris Ann. And again, excuse me, actually I'll show you on the cover. The eyeballs looking through the lids. Light at the third eye. Kind of makes sense. Need a drink. But our card for today, again, my favorite number, 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. And what I gave it for a title was actually some of the words that are under the Lightseer description of this, because I figured that would mean more to people who are scrolling through and reading it than 8 of Wands. I didn't think that necessarily told anybody anything. And I will read the reverse, just because sometimes people find that useful as well. But it did come out right side up. So, 8 of Wands. The Lightseer part. Speed, velocity, travel. Making split-second decisions. An upcoming positive resolution. Haste, good news. The Shadowseer side. Instability. Delays. Unfocused energy. That would have been me recently, but I made a point of every day doing some breath work, practicing focus. And I totally get it when people say yoga's not for me, meditation's not for me, I can't stay focused. That is yoga and meditation. It's retraining the focus. You're doing it absolutely the way you're supposed to be doing. When your mind's off wandering somewhere, it's to be expected. You're doing it. You're already doing it. And then you gently bring your thoughts back to the focal point, whatever it is, a word, a phrase, your breath, a candle, whatever. That is yoga and breath work. It's and meditation. It's just taking the time and the kindness to yourself. Redirect, 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 just like your GPS does. Recalculating, do the same thing. You're just doing it with your brain. All right, so let's see. Shadowseer side. Instability, delays, unfocused energy, and lack of direction. Burnout, a tendency to hesitate. So now here's the part where it's talking to us. So let's take a breath and open to receive. Action. You know those moments in life that feel like a sprint? This type of speedy energy is at play. It's inspirational, it's fiery, it's positive, and it's now. I think this is so funny because yesterday I was sitting here just as the light was coming up and the kids were headed to school. And there was one young man with a backpack on, they're middle schoolers, running. So I don't know if he was late for something or what the deal was. But I just wanted to watch him run and watch his little body work the way my body used to work. I could run like the wind. And I just watched him and thought to myself, I bet he doesn't even appreciate that his body responds. When he gave it the command to run, it ran. If I did that with my body, it'd be saying, you talking to me? So then I sat and thought, well, what can I do? What can I still do? I think I can run. I've run, but I do not take off with that huge push off that I used to have. I'd pull something, right? I could probably run for about 3 houses and then I'd have to walk. But it was interesting thinking about, and I remember this from a dance class that I took when I was probably in my late 40s. And she had us doing things. It was actually, she was actually also a gymnast. And so she put a platform there, not very high, maybe 6 inches, and wanted us each to jump with 2 feet up onto the platform. I did it. There were many in the class who didn't do it or couldn't do it or were afraid to try it. And then we got our asses kicked by the instructor's mom, who was in her late 70s at that point. And she walked over to it and boop, up she went. And I'm like, all right, that gives us some guidance here. This is what's possible when you stay attentive to it. And so part of my plan for 2026 is doing more physically, and seeing what I'm capable of resurrecting. I used to do all that gym stuff, got to the point where because I was pushing, it would set off inflammatory responses. That wasn't pleasant. So I kind of got away from doing that and got more into yoga and meditation and breath work and those kinds of things. But I think there's something to be said for some weight bearing and some cardio. Good morning, Diane. Glad you're here. Welcome. Now there's 8 of you here, my favorite number, and our 8 of Wands. We have synchronicity. So let's keep going here. Let's see. Inspirational, fiery, positive, and it's now. If you have a gut feeling that needs to be acted upon, listen to it. With all of this movement, avoid being swept along by an unpredictable tide by having clarity about your desires and direction. Clarity. That word keeps coming up for us, doesn't it? Clarity, clarity, clarity. Think to yourself, Silver Sneakers is a great class. Yes, I've done that too. So yeah, I just have to figure out what I'm interested in, etc. So it's kind of in the hopper. I've been perusing some stuff. So yes, we'll see what we end up with. Harness this beautiful window of swift opportunity. So let's make that an I statement. I harness this beautiful window of swift opportunity. I harness this beautiful window of swift opportunity. In shadow, so if the card had come out upside down, which it did not, but if it had, in shadow, the 8 of Wands suggests there is some sticky energy influencing your situation. You want to move, but act. If your foot's not stuck in the mud, then you've locked your keys in the car. Am I right? Let's see. If you're fluctuating between having a tendency to hesitate and running so fast that you're burning out, it's time to bring some balanced momentum into your propulsion. I like that idea. How do we pace this? So like I'm saying, in terms of running, if I were to decide to run, and typically at this point I don't think there's any purpose for running unless something is chasing me, but nonetheless, if I were to decide to run, I would take off slowly and build up. I wouldn't blast forward like I used to, because my body isn't that fast twitch kind of a body anymore. So let me read that sentence again because I really like that one. Let's see. If you're fluctuating between having a tendency to hesitate and running so fast that you're burning out, it's time to bring some balanced momentum into your propulsion. So make that an I statement. I bring balanced momentum into my propulsion. Consistent movement that feels right in your heart is the best place to start. That even rhymes. That's pretty cool. Consistent movement that feels right in your heart is the best place to start. Excuse me. It's dry in here. So then the last statements are, it's go time. I fall into the flow of this quickening energy and I swiftly face my desires head on. Even just take that last piece. I swiftly face my desires head on. First thing to know is, what are my desires? End of year, moving into a new year is a wonderful time to review. What did I accomplish in this year? What did I love about this year? What didn't work so well for me about this year? What do I want to change going into the new year? What would I like to accomplish when I get to the end of 2026 and I'm looking back? What would I like to be able to say about it? All the things. Just taking a little time. I have a friend who every year at the beginning of the year, instead of just doing the words, she makes a vision board. And so she goes through magazines, rips out, doesn't really think about it, rips out images she likes, words she likes, colors she likes, anything that speaks to her, just rips it all out, then goes about placing it on a big sheet of poster board, then hangs it in her office. So there's lots of things we can do to kind of reorient and get in tune with ourselves in terms of, another good question to ask yourself is, what did I avoid accomplishing in 2025? And what led to me choosing to avoid that? Whether I did it consciously or subconsciously, what led to me choosing to avoid it? Was it fear? If so, what kind of fear? Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of criticism, whatever. Time to take a good, deep look at ourselves and not beat ourselves up about stuff, but polish things up a little bit. Polish things up a little bit. So that is our card for today. The 8 of Wands, speed, velocity, travel, making split-second decisions, an upcoming positive resolution. I liked that one. Haste and good news. So ponder that. Let it roll around in your brain. You don't have to decide anything immediately. Just let it percolate for a bit and see what distills out of that. Percolate, distill, 2 separate processes. Nonetheless, you get the gist, right? So I hope that 8 of you have a fabulous Saturday. I know I will. We're going to go play and have some fun. Hopefully St. Vinny's has some good stuff to find. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.